He had faced gunfire, landmines, and weeks without sleep on foreign soil. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared him for what he saw when he opened the door to his own home. What happened next changed everything. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear is a story of silence, pain, courage, and an unforgettable decision. If this story touched your heart, show your love, like, share, and comment your thoughts. Subscribe to our channel for more real-life inspired stories that warm the soul and inspire the heart. After 18 months of deployment in a hostile war zone, Sergeant Daniel Carter finally received the orders he had been praying for. Home leave. Wounded not just in body, but in spirit, Daniel had counted down every second to see his little sister Emily, the only family he had left after their parents' passing. He imagined her smiling at the airport like she always did, probably holding one of her homemade signs like, "Welcome back, hero." But when he landed, no one was there. He brushed it off. Maybe she had trouble getting time off work. But then came the silence. No replies to texts, no answer on calls. Emily had always been warm, expressive, never one to ignore her brother. He shrugged off the growing worry, convincing himself it was just poor timing until he got to their childhood home. The moment he walked in, something felt wrong. The lights were dim. The air smelled like stale silence. Then he saw her sitting at the kitchen table, hands covering her face. Her long sleeves didn't hide the bruises beneath them. Her silence screamed louder than words. Daniel's heart stopped. "Emily, what happened to you?" She flinched before turning her head slowly. Her eyes were swollen and a fading handprint lined her jaw. She opened her mouth but no sound came, just tears, the kind of tears that carried stories untold. Before she could speak, a door creaked open behind them. A man, tall, muscular, aggressive, walked out. Daniel's instincts, sharpened by war, instantly kicked in. The man's voice was sharp. "You're early." Daniel stepped between Emily and him. "Who the hell are you?" The man smirked. Her fiancée Emily whispered, "Please don't, Danny." Daniel's fists clenched. He had fought to protect his country, but now he realized his greatest fight was going to be right here at home. Emily had been alone for too long. After Daniel left for service, she had met Mark. Charming, wealthy, persuasive. It started with flowers and sweet notes, but quickly turned into control, then anger, then violence. She had no one. Friends had faded. She didn't want to burden Daniel, so she kept silent. Mark was careful, manipulative. His abuse left more emotional scars than physical ones. He isolated her, made her question her worth, and used Daniel's absence as a weapon. "You're nothing without me," he'd say. "Even your own brother abandoned you." But seeing Daniel again, even for a moment, sparked something inside her. A tiny flicker of hope. Daniel, however, was raging inside. He wanted to knock Mark to the ground that very moment, but he remembered his training. Control before reaction, strategy before action. That night, he didn't sleep. He stayed awake, sitting outside Emily's bedroom like a silent guardian, watching, waiting in the morning. When Mark left for work, Daniel sat beside Emily. "You don't have to say anything," he said softly, "but you don't have to stay silent anymore, either." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I thought you'd be ashamed of me." Daniel took her hand. "Emily, you survived hell while I was at war, and now I'm here, and we're going to end this together." Daniel reached out to Sarah, an old friend of their mother's, a lawyer who worked with domestic violence survivors. Step by step they began building a case. Quietly, safely, Emily started therapy. Slowly began to speak, started smiling again. But Mark started noticing the change. He became more aggressive. One night, he grabbed Emily's arm too hard and didn't notice Daniel behind him. In a flash, Daniel had him pinned against the wall. "You want to fight? You pick on someone your own size now," he growled. Police were called. Mark resisted arrest. But with Daniel's testimony, medical evidence, and Emily's courage to speak, he was charged and taken into custody. It wasn't over in a day. Healing took time. But Emily began to breathe freely again. She started painting, laughing. She even began helping other women in similar situations. Daniel stayed not just as a brother, but as a protector, a guide, a friend. The war had broken pieces of him. But helping Emily put herself back together helped him, too. Sometimes the greatest battles are fought not with bullets, but with love, with silence, with courage. Daniel went to war to protect his country, but he came back to rescue something even more sacred: family. If this story touched you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring real-life stories. Because sometimes the strongest heroes wear scars you'll never see.